Hi, I'm Fernando. Have you ever decided that something is not working out for you?
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great.
Whether it's something at work, something in business, or even like a personal relationship or anything really. Something is not working out, and usually, when somebody makes that decision that something is not working out, they either let it go or try to work on it, right? So I kind of reflected on this a little bit now in the new years, and I had an observation that I wanted to share with you. And the observation was that some of my corporate clients are more in tune with defining roles and responsibilities than smaller businesses. And I noticed that it's very important when you are clear on what the expectations are for an employee, for a vendor. Once these expectations are clear and they're in writing, the it's easier to measure the outcome. It's easier to evaluate if something is actually working or not. What happens a lot that I've seen is that people have an opinion on what is working and not working. And in reality, when they do the math and they sit down and crunch some numbers, things are actually working as expected. And for example, if some company, a lot of companies, larger companies have this down by the wire. When they want to hire somebody, the first thing that they put in is a requisition for a new person, a new staff position, right? And they have a job description and a title. And then with that job description and title, they post the job offers, the job opportunities in the career websites, and the recruiters get that information as well. So it's very important that the employer specifies the job description in order for them to attract the right candidates for the position. And typically, that's in theory, that's how it's supposed to be, right? Sometimes job descriptions are just very general and vague. But in theory, the ideal situation is that you clearly, because the better you describe the job description, the better you understand what it is that you're looking for, and the person looking for the work, that it's going to be a better match. So when you have a good job description, then when it comes time to evaluate a performance evaluation, for example, you're going to evaluate and be objective. It's not a subjective evaluation of whether it's working out or not. It's whether the job description is being met, right? If you have that written down, then you know exactly what the person is supposed to be doing, and then you know exactly how you're going to measure. So there's techniques for that, for evaluating based on that criteria. But in general, when you're deciding and you're doing something, you're trying something, again, business, personal, relationship, doesn't really matter. You have to have the right expectation for what you're trying to do, what you're doing, and what that is actually supposed to do. For example, you might say, or you might have a goal of saying, I want to lose weight. I'm going to drink this milkshake, this juice. And you put all the emphasis on the juice. So I'm drinking the juice. I'm drinking it the right amount, the right ingredients, the right time of day, etc., etc. It's not working. Well, hey, the end game, the end goal is losing weight, but you're putting it all the weight on this one thing of drinking this juice, where the purpose of the juice is one piece of the whole pie, of the whole solution. It's not the single thing that you need to do. And let me give you maybe a better example. If you are trying, let's say in business, a marketing campaign, and let's say, for example, I'm sending out mail via postal mail, right? I'm sending out a campaign. I'm going to send out 100 letters to a list. And I send out the letter, and I sit back and I wait for results. And then if results don't come in, or whatever results are, that's kind of the problem right there starting. If results don't come in, it didn't work. I see that over and over. Different marketing strategies, some people try different things and they don't work. Well, marketing is there, you know, the human mind is so complicated. If it was so simple, if we were just like, you know, very on and off kind of thing, it's just a flip of a switch, and either you do this or you do that, everything will be so much easier. But it's not. That's not the reality. That's why artificial intelligence is so complicated and difficult to do. There's so many combinations, so many permutations of things that can happen in somebody's mind, in the environment, in the situation, that there's no one way to get 100% results. Now, going back to the mailing example, if you mail a letter, the purpose of the letter cannot be to get a sale, first of all. And that's one problem right there. The purpose of the letter the letter is just a mechanism, a method to get your message to somebody else. That's it. If the message is received on the other end, that's it. It worked. But what happens is that people confuse things and they say it didn't work, that, and meaning what they really mean is that they didn't get a sale. But there's so many steps missing between sending a letter, the person getting the letter, and actually closing the sale. There's so many different pieces missing. So the marketing has to be analyzed better. It's not just the one thing. It's not just I'm going to buy a product to market and then I'm going to expect a sale out of it, like from one end, and just a sale comes out. It doesn't really work that way. You have to break it down a little bit more, and there's more to it. And that, beginning marketers make that mistake because it's very easy to think that you can just buy something and make money out of it just because you're buying it and you're promoting something. And it's a numbers game again, because people are so complicated. You have to, in order to make a determination based on numbers, you have to have a large quantity of numbers to make your analysis. Otherwise, you're just comparing by one single incident, by 50 incidents, by 100. That might not be enough numbers to actually determine if it actually is working out for you or not. So, and that's another area where people fail, is that they don't have enough. Sometimes they don't have enough patience, or they don't have enough money to test, and they just try a small sample of something and just try it once or twice. Never try anything once, because everything that you try, have in your mind to try it 10 times. Don't just try something once, because once, if you're lucky, you might land something, but that's luck. You can't. It's not sustainable to just do it by luck. You have to have a systematic approach and be persistent and consistent. So in marketing, that is very important. Now, going back to the example of whether something works or not, again, you have to kind of imagine it like if you're imagining a pie, right? A pie chart, right? You have a pie, just going back to graphics, you have 100% is everything, right? Some people expect everything to work right away, but in reality, you have to break things down in percentages. There's 5%. Like for example, when you send out a mail in postal mail, you send out the mail. Does the one criteria? Does the person actually receive the mail at the other end? A certain percentage of people won't even receive it. Maybe the mail got lost. So that's 1%. That's the percentage that you have to take out of the 100, right? You have to subtract from 100%. You have to subtract. Okay, did they receive the mail? Did the person open the mail, right? Or did they throw it away right away in the trash can? Did the person? Let's say a percentage received the mail, a percentage opened the mail, a percentage read the mail. So just because they open it, they can read the first paragraph and they say, whoop, gone. That's another percentage that you lose. Let's say a percentage of people read through the whole mail, but stash it away and just leave it for another day. It goes down and down and down. A percentage of people actually read the mail, follow the directions, click on, go to a website or to get more information, or maybe pick up the phone. Those are all different variables. So you can lose people at any point. You can lose people at any point. But the mail, sending the mail, if they got to their hands, it worked. The sending of the mail worked. The postal service is very reliable, so that mechanism of sending mail works. So you have to look at all the pieces, because all the way down here is a sale, but there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps, and sometimes you have some steps that are failing, or sometimes you don't even have any steps. You just go from sending a mail to expecting a sale, and that's not the reality. If you're lucky, sometimes there's a saying that says that in a hurricane, even pigs can fly, right? And that means that even in a hurricane where there's like very, very like an F5, big winds, even the cow or a pig you can see flying around because it's so easy, because there's so much wind, right? And when the conditions are right, the market, sometimes it's easier to sell, and then people who don't really know how to market and don't know how to sell can make sales easily. But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you have to actually put more into it and work harder at it. So anyway, so there's a lot of components. Let's say email, for example. When you send out email, there's a percentage that is an email deliverability percentage, right? There's a lot of, for people to open your emails, there's, a lot of people don't get the emails. They goes to spam. If they get the email, they don't look at it. The subject is not interesting enough. They don't open it. They delete it right away. If they open it, they ignore it, or it's not interesting. Maybe they see a link. Maybe they click on the link. Maybe they click on the link. They land on the page, and they bounce off of the page. They don't read the page. Maybe they go to the page, they read the page, but they don't opt in. Maybe they opt in, but maybe the autoresponder goes to spam. Maybe, so there's a lot of things that happen. And sometimes people just measure open rates and click rates, and that's not enough. Even if somebody gets, let's say, an email, for example, they get your email, or you're making an ad, for example, and they click on the link. So you're measuring clicks and you're measuring impressions. Okay, but there's more to it, right? You still have to close that sale. Your offer needs to be interesting. Just because you have an offer and 1 million people click on your link, you might have a dud in your marketing. It's not interesting. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, we think our stuff is the best thing since sliced bread, but in reality, it hits you in the face, and it's not necessarily that like that. And people don't really care about you. They want something that benefits themselves, that doesn't care about if you're selling it or not. So in terms of sending things, there's a lot of things that are missing in terms of whether something works or not. And a lot of, again, people that are doing marketing, it's very easy to just buy a product, send out emails and spam people and think that that's it. There's more to it. There's more skills to it. And it's very easy to say something didn't work when in reality you're not really working. Sometimes some things don't work. Yes. But a lot of the time, most of the times, things actually work as they're expected. It's just that there's so many other pieces to the puzzle that you're not looking at. So I said that this actually has to do a lot with personal as well. And, it's not just business. Like in personal, right? If you are in a relationship or at work, and again, you have an expectation and you say something is not working. But again, what exactly is not working? In terms of a job description, if a person is not doing their job, what exactly is it that they're not doing? Sometimes maybe they're doing a whole bunch of other things, and just one thing, it stands out that they're not doing, but they are working. So is it fair to cross it out completely? Or is it, you can evaluate what needs to be looked at. And sometimes what needs to be looked at is yourself, not the other person. So it gets on and on. It's a complicated thing. People are complicated. We are large. But so anyway, I wanted to just share that with you. It was just a thought, because I'm in business and I have different marketing strategies that I'm working on, and I'm also a student as well in marketing. So a lot of times it's easy to try something and not give it enough time to work, because again, you need a number to actually make a good determination. To compare apples to apples, you have to have a large pool to actually determine if something is not working. And sometimes what's not working is what you're doing. And there's a lot of components to it in order to actually work. So I hope this clarifies or makes sense, and makes you think a little bit about what you're doing in terms of marketing or in general in life, right? Look at, get your expectations clear. It's also good for goal setting purposes, right? Now in the new year, when you're setting your new goals, you want to be very specific on what your goals are, because then what you're able to make action items to get those specific items in your goals, right? And then you'll be able to measure it and measure the results and see if it's actually working or not. Sometimes we say something is not working, but one of the goals is working, but the whole picture maybe not, but you can adjust different things. So just another way of looking at things, right? Just another perspective. So I don't want to make this video more longer than what it is. I hope it helps you. If you're interested, comment below, tell me what you think, share this video, like it, and stay in touch. Bye. Hi, I'm Fernando Sosa, and in this video I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that is not necessarily business. Well, it applies to business, but it also applies to personal. Started as me trying to talk about marketing. Hi, I'm Fernando. Hi, I'm Fernando. Hi, I'm Fernando. Recently, I looked at. Hi, I'm Fernando. Have you ever thought about